AI has been in focus this week as investors digest a slew of results from the likes of ARM Holdings, Taiwan Semiconductor, and SoundHound AI. It's been a mixed picture, especially when it comes to guidance. But our next guest, though, saying that there is a tidal wave underway. And there are some key names that are going to benefit. For more on this, we want to bring in Dan Ives, Wedbush Securities Senior Equity Analyst. Dan, it's good to see you. So talk to me about this note that you just put out this morning. The title of it almost says it all. AI revolution spending tidal wave is well underway. That's been seen in Q1 results. What does this then signal, though, about the outperformance then of some of these names to come?
Look, I think it shows this revolution, the monetization is actually now starting. And it's not just about Godfather of AI, Jensen, NVIDIA, and what Nadella is doing to Redmond. Now it's the rest of tech. I mean, I think names like ServiceNow, Salesforce, Oracle. You look at ARM Holdings. I mean, those are just robust numbers. You're seeing it play out across other areas, Palantir, SoundHound, and what I believe is going to be the rest of software and semis. I think this fourth industrial revolution has begun.
How can investors best determine a healthy amount of spending on generative AI ambitions versus what seems unhealthy or perhaps over-indexed capital allocation?
Look, if you look at these hyperscale players, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and then you analyze some of the spending that we're seeing from Meta and others, it's just begun. I mean, we're not even in first inning. I'd say we're in the dugout in terms of where this is all going. Now, in terms of over-indexing, I think you have to own the right plays. I think you have to have your plays in semis, software, and infrastructure. And I think there's almost a basket approach to this. But even if someone told you 6 months ago Dell would be an AI play, you'd say, okay, you must have had a really good Friday night. But look what's happening. Look at Dell, Oracle, and others. This is a 1995 moment, not a 1999 moment.
Dan, one of the names that we've been talking about a lot when it comes to AI, at least most recently, not so much here over the last several months, but most recently it's been Apple. Questions about what exactly their AI strategy is going to look like. We're expected to hear a little bit more at the big event next month. But I'm curious from your perspective, what do you anticipate to hear from Cook & Company in terms of what their strategy is going to look like?
Look, I think it's probably the most important event for Apple that we've seen potentially in a decade. Because this is going to be Cook laying out the AI strategy on the services side for developers, what I believe is really the start of an AI app store in terms of how that's going to morph. And then it's proprietary AI technology in iPhone 16, which will launch in September. Look, behind the scenes, were they behind when it came to AI? Yeah, but I think they've quickly caught up. And you have the best install base, 2.2 billion in the world. So this is the start of AI coming to Cupertino.
Does this compactor ad matter, Dan?
Look, first of all, for Apple to actually apologize is rare. But I think it also shows they're under the microscope. Brussels, Beltway, Target on their back. But when you make the best products in the world and you have the spotlight on you, that's what they're going to do. And an ad like this, I wouldn't expect too many more of these. But Apple's apologizing for the best products in the world. And that's essentially what they're doing.
How quickly do you think it's going to impact then their bottom line?
Look, I think when you look at the broader story here, this is probably going to be the last quarter of negative iPhone growth. And then it's the renaissance of growth that's going to happen in Cupertino. I think it's really an iPhone 16 AI supercycle that's going to play out. I think Apple is where Meta was 18 months ago. I mean, New York City cab drivers bearish on Apple. I don't think numbers are reflecting what ultimately is going to happen on the services side, on this iPhone growth story, and then you combine AI. I think we're seeing here a year from now looking at this more of a golden buying opportunity rather than the time where this is going to be a structural decliner.
Dan, while we have you, we were discussing earlier in the show about the moves that the Biden administration is prepared to make with regard to EVs and how this could impact some of the companies in your coverage list. We think about Tesla most notably here and what could happen if China decides to retaliate with some action of their own?
Well, that's the broader worry, retaliatory, and obviously Tesla front and center there. Look, the issue here is, and I've seen it firsthand throughout Asia and China, when you look at BYD, NIO, many others, I mean, these are phenomenal products, phenomenal models, technology. And I think Biden administration recognizes with the 313 area code focus so much on EVs, they got to put, some tariffs and restrictions, but you can't, it's not going to stop the freight train. I mean, you are going to see Chinese EVs come here at one point. They're going to be successful. But I think for Tesla, they're navigating their problems in China. I do believe they will start to turn the corner as we get into the next few quarters.
I see the Mets. I see Penn State represented behind you. I don't see any Knicks gear. I see the Islanders as well here, Dan. So
we got Knicks gear.
Okay,
we got Knicks gear right here. Look, again, betting against Apple, it's like betting against Brunson in the playoffs. It's just that's just not something you want to do. You don't want to awake the goat. And that's what we're seeing with Brunson. We're going to see with Apple.
Wow. Already goating him. Okay. All right. Dan Ives, Wedbush Securities Senior Equity Analyst. Dan, great to speak with you as always.
Thanks.
Enjoy the game.